the first of many coding videos, I hope, or coding related at least, and I figured what better place to start than with Git and GitHub setup. So this video will be slightly more geared for Mac users as the terminal is already set up with Bash and everything's ready to go. For Windows, there will be a little bit extra setup. I'll try to link something for you guys, or if you have questions or need anything else with that, let me know. I might be able to make a video on it as well. But yeah, let's get going. So go ahead and go to github.com and create an account and just create your account with a free version to start. You get quite a bit with that. And once you've done that, you should be on this screen. If not, just go up here anyways and go to your repos, and we'll just create a new repo. And we'll just go with the classic one, hello world. And then you can make this private if you want, or public. I'll leave this one public and probably link it down below if you guys need to check it out for whatever reason. We'll add a README for this, and we'll create it. So once we're here, before we can actually pull this down and use it on our local machine, we need to set up our SSH token. So if you click code and go here, you can click this link, I believe, and get that going. Or if you go into your settings, open that up, you'll see this list of stuff. You can click SSH and GPG keys, and you can also click generating SSH keys from here. So I already have those open. We'll go here, and once you're here, you can click this link for generating a new SSH key, which brings you here. And we'll just go ahead and copy this and go to our terminal, paste that in, then just put your email in here that you are using for GitHub. And then you can change the name or location of this if you want. It's usually easier if you just keep it in the SSH folder, but I'll probably rename this to something else instead of the ID ed and 255.19. Oops. So let's rename this. And then you can enter a passphrase if you want, which every time you, I believe, pull or push code, it'll ask you to enter the passphrase. I don't really care for it, so I won't enter it. And then once you have that done, you can type SSH, no, getting ahead of myself. Okay, so moving on down the list. We will start this, start the SSH agent. You should get this if it worked correctly for you. Then we need to add to the config file in the SSH directory. So we'll do that. If you don't have it, then just create it. So I've already added some stuff to mine. I have two different accounts, so mine's gonna look a little bit different than your guys' might, but overall pretty close to the same. So you'll just need to copy this that they have and paste that in there for you. And then if you didn't use the default directory that's this ID ed 255.19, then you'll just specify the other file name instead. As you can see, I just went with the default one with my other account. But yeah, once you got that, just save it, and we'll move on to the next step. You'll run this command in the terminal, again, just using the file name that you specified. So identity added, perfect. And then that might be it for this page. We'll go back to here. We'll run this command. Make sure you get the public version of this. There's a private and public version. So that should be copied. Then once you have it copied, you'll want to go back to your settings, just like it'll show here. I'll link these links for you guys. Go to the SSH and GPG keys, which is here. Create a new SSH key. You can name this whatever you want. And then you'll just paste this in that you copied from the previous command. Hit add. Then that's pretty close to it. Yeah, so we should be good to go from that. So then we'll go back to here, refresh. So that message is now gone because we created a key. We'll just hit this link, go back to the terminal, and we will clone that. And if it worked correctly, you should see this. If the SSH key wasn't done correctly, I believe you'll get an error here. So you can see that that Hello World project is now here. So I'll use VS Code for my example. It's a free IDE that you guys can download. I can link that as well. Or you can use Notepad or whatever you want. IntelliJ is popular. Plenty of IDEs out there to choose from, but I prefer VS Code. So I'll go ahead and open this up. Okay, so here's our README that we created. And once we're in here, VS Code has this integrated terminal that you can use. And as you can see, I'm on the main branch. So you can see what branches you have. If you just type git branch, so I only have main. And we'll get into branches in just a second. But first, I'm just going to show you how you can make saves or commits, as they're called here, with your code. It's kind of like checkpoints. Yeah, so let's say make a change, just add that, and if we hit git status here, you can see that README file was modified, and there's currently no changes added to the commit. And again, the commit is basically just like a save or a checkpoint, if you want, if you will. So yeah, we'll go ahead and commit. Well, we'll add that, and then we will commit that. And when you type commit, you just need to do the -m with quotes and then add a message. Usually you want to put something descriptive here of what the changes were. So this is kind of nothing, so I'll just put kind of nothing answer. And now if we do a git status, you'll see there's nothing to commit because we already added it and committed it. So now we can push this to GitHub. Okay, so now that that's pushed, we'll go look at GitHub, and so if we refresh, we should see our change, and here it is. Okay, so let's go back, and now I guess we can talk about branches. So, like I said before, if you type git branch, you can see all the branches you have, locally at least. Right now we just have main, so if you hit Q, you can get out of this, if I didn't mention that before. So if we want to create a new branch, you can do a git checkout -b, and then we'll just name this new branch test, because usually when you create new branches, you're testing something out or trying something new with the code, and you don't want to break what's on the main branch of code. So while here in test branch, we'll just add something new. So we just added some kind of description, so we can add this as well. You can specify individual files here, so like we did before with README, or if there's multiple files that you want to do at once, you can just specify each one individually, or if you want everything, you just do a period, so it'll get the whole directory you're in. So I'll just do that, and then we'll commit. Check the status, and it's all committed and good. And so if we go back to our main branch, whoops, didn't mean to hit that. See, we're still where we left off with it because we were on an entirely different save for a different branch. So if we go back, you can see once again, here's our save for our commit. So let's say after we did this in the test branch, we want to add it to the main branch. What we can do is merge it in. And to do that, we'll just go back to our main branch, and then we'll do a git merge, and then the name of the branch that you want to merge into main. So test, and so now the change is added here, and so now let's push that to GitHub. Okay, so we'll check GitHub, and there you go. So another thing you can do is check your Git log, and you can see all the commits you've done up to this point. So right now it'll show test and main branch are on the same level because we just merged test into main, so they have the same code. So you can see our messages. So this is a key reason to have something descriptive. So if people are looking back through here to find out where something changed or broke, they can see the message, and you can actually go and check it out. So you can copy the commit hash here, and you can just put that commit hash here, and you can see what was there at that specific time. So it's pretty cool. There is a way to revert back if you commit something and you just want to go back to a previous commit. I won't go over that in this. Doesn't seem like you need to use it too often from my experience, but there are cases where you do. So set up a repo from GitHub. We can do it another way around, where if you already have a folder or a repo locally that you want to put onto GitHub, I can show you how to do that real quick as well. So we'll go back to the terminal, and we'll just create a new folder. Let's call it hello world-2, and we'll just open that up. Okay, so we'll just create a README file here, and we'll just call it hello world-2. Okay, so then we'll open the terminal, and right now we don't have Git initialized in this repository, so if you type git branch, I'm not going to get anything. So what you can do is create a new Git repository locally with git and init. And once you do that, you'll get all this. So you can see it created a master branch. Oh, that was weird. Not sure why it's not showing up that. But created a branch named master, so we'll just name that main because that's what GitHub will use, and it'll be easier to copy the commands that GitHub gives you. So let's do this. So it's main. We'll add everything created in here so far, commit it. Okay, so then we'll just go to GitHub, go to the repos, new repo, just name it what we named it locally. Okay, we won't add a README this time because we already created one. So once we create this, we'll get these commands, and we want the second option for pushing an existing repository. So we'll just copy this over, go back to our code, and since I have a couple different GitHub users, I need to make just a small change that you guys shouldn't need to worry about if you're just having the one account. So you can just copy and paste, and there we go. Just pushed that up. So if we go back to the browser and refresh, we should see our code here. There we go. So that's how you create a GitHub repository from GitHub or push an existing one from your local computer. Hope that helps you get started with that. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you have any ideas for future videos, go ahead and comment those as well. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.